Hello and good morning to everyone. We have worked a little bit together with Viorel in order to present to you our opinion for the market. He studied and he focused more on the part of offices. And we will talk more for all the rest of the segments a bit faster. And mainly I would like to focus on the indicators that show us what is coming up. So, which are the indicators that show us what will happen with the market? When do we expect the revival? In Romania in 2010 we had the GDP declining. In 2011 it will stabilize or decline again. In my opinion it will decline again. The foreign direct investments were reduced comparing to 2009, and for the moment we don't see any sign of increase. The exports were higher than 2009, and they are expected to be even higher than 2010. But this happens due to Dacia, Nokia, Ford, and few more companies. If we exclude these companies from the picture, the exports have fallen. The agriculture had an excellent year in 2010, and experts say that it's a little bit difficult to have such a good year in 2011 as well. The banks are in trouble, you all know that, and most probably they will be in more trouble in 2011. What happened with the European funds? They were not really absorbed as they should be absorbed. Everybody knows that. This procedure has started, it moves very slowly, and we still have in Romania more than 25 billion euro to absorb, but the time is running out. What will happen in 2011? This is a question mark. The environment in Europe and the whole world is not very good. In 2010 it worsened compared to 2009. In 2011 we expect more austerity measures. You all know, we all hear what is going on around us. Even Germany, which is the only country that appears to be in better situation than the others, they have adopted more and more austerity measures in the previous month. The political stability in Romania, I'm a foreigner, I will politely say that is not the best. And I have a question mark for 2011. The same for the business environment. It's not the best. Can it get worse? Some people try hard to convince me that it can. The real estate environment, in my opinion, with 3 words, it's still in mess. I'm sorry, but this is what we still experience, except the 20% of people who respect themselves and the market, we still see a majority of people who behave in not in an appropriate way. Can it get worse? That's a question mark as well. I will start with the residential segment. We saw so far that what happened was mainly transactions through prima casa, and in 2011 we expect more transactions with prima casa and some foreclosures from the banks. There will be also some exceptions with other properties when the property matches the expectations of the buyer, which is not the typical case. The banks do not really finance, and when they finance, they prefer to finance properties that they have in their own patrimony, in their own portfolio. So this is good for them, but it doesn't really help the market too much. The supply still does not match with the demand, because we still have supply coming from the previous years, designed for different people in a different world with different incomes, in different locations. Today people want different things, and very few companies have been able to adjust. The exemptions to all this simply confirm the rule, and still we notice that prices are high in several cases. There are still too many people complaining that the prices are high. This means that we expect the blockage to continue in 2011 as well. The retail segment, in my opinion, the most dynamic one in Romanian real estate market today. We had some malls bankrupting, we had the rents declining, we had few new projects, mainly retail parks. We have also major retailers expanding, which is, in my opinion, the most important news of this year, that we had several serious retailers of all kinds expanding their networks. Even if this means that they will open their new outlets in 2011, 2012, this is the first sign that someone is moving. Someone is taking advantage of the opportunity. Only, of course, when they achieve the best possible prices for their interest. We see also some land transactions at low price levels, nothing to compare with the past and with the madness that was spread all around, and we see very slow and careful decisions. That's why we expect in 2011 to have a slower recovery, targeting 2012, which more or less is expected to be the message of MAPIC, the exhibition in Cannes that will start this week. Industrial segment, we have limited supply comparing to the other segments, and we have more demand than the past. The land deals again only with low prices. We expect the demand to slightly rise due to several different reasons. There are a lot of relocation projects. There are also new companies entering in the market which want to take advantage of the low salaries and some other advantages that Romania offers. We also see a slow recovery, and there is a possibility to have prices increased. Let's go to investments. Very limited supply of good properties, really very limited supply of good properties, and there is very limited serious demand. We do not talk about people who go right and left telling to lots of people we want to invest. We talk about people with ability to conclude a transaction. This is the main difference. We have too many investors, the majority of them remaining idle, expecting for better and better and better prices. I will give you an example, we say like a joke in my company. There is a Greek TV comedy, and an old lady enters in a shop, and out of the shop it writes with very big letters, "We liquidate everything, minimum 80% up to 95% discounts." The lady enters inside, and she goes to the woman who is at the cashier, and she says, "Miss, I will buy something from you, but I hope you will give me a better price, no?" This is more or less what we experience. Whatever the price may be, someone will ask for a better price. Even if we give it for nothing, they will ask also to get money back. We have very few deals, only at realistic levels. Realistic is level that is comfortable for the buyer. Owners with very high expectations just drink coffees and pay for dinners discussing with people. Too many people expect the banks to sell off, and there are too many investors who expect that in 2011 we will see the banks selling off their assets aggressively. I see the banks willing to sell properties, and now I see that most of their financing is concentrated on these assets. We will see an increase in the domain of apartments, of residential, where they will have to liquidate more properties, but for the moment, this procedure is slow. It's slower than it was expected to be. The financing is almost blocked, as we said before, but still, the investors who search are searching for diamonds. Properties that have very good location, very good parameters of all kinds, very good construction, if we talk about the construction, or a very good, if we talk about the land, the strategic location, utilities, transportation, whatever else. So they are still in search, these properties. Things are not so bad in 2011, meaning that, as Viorel said, in 2010 we had nothing, so whatever comes, it's better than nothing. But there are no serious signs of recovery. We hope for 2012, and there is an exception. This was a mistake of mine, projects with retail destination. Let's go now to the main indicators that show us the future, why, in my opinion, 2011 will be another difficult year. The foreign direct investments, FDI, declined in 2009, declined in 2010. There is no serious sign for increase in 2011. Usually when these investments enter in a country, it needs 12 to 18 months to spread the money. So, if we see foreign direct investments increasing in 2011, we should expect that 2012 will be a better year. In 2010, with foreign direct investments declining, we don't see any sign that this will be a better year for 2011. The European grants, the European funds, the absorption was low. We hope for the best for 2011. We need 6 to 18 months since the moment that, from the moment that we start until the moment that the money enters in the real economy. And again, if this procedure starts in 2011, most probably we will see the effects in 2012. The major public works. Very few is a polite expression in 2009 and 2010. If we don't use public-private partnerships, there are not serious hopes for much better results in 2011. Usually this needs 12 to 30 months in order from the moment of the signing until the project to start and people start earning money, the real economy to benefit. So again, this doesn't have any effect to 2011. Banks. They have too many problems and they have blocked their activities in 2009. The problems are more in 2010. The unpaid loans have increased and everybody knows that. Now we have something new, a war between clients and banks. I will not tell you who has right and who has wrong. I will tell you that this war has a consequence and it's clear. The banks become even more defensive. In 2011, is expected to be the most difficult year for banks in Romania. At least this is what bankers, experienced bankers, say to each other when they do not talk in public. Are we going to see many foreclosures? There is a debate upon that. Some people say yes, some people say not. But if we don't see, the more we delay foreclosures, the more we delay the market recovery. Are the banks going to unfreeze loans for real estate investments? I wouldn't bet on this scenario for 2011. The forecast is negative, and exceptions simply confirm the rule. And as we all know, the moment that we have banks being the key players in the market, and these were the ones that fueled the expansion of the past, they are also the most important players for the future as well. So either we see lots of transactions from the bank's portfolios, or when we see transactions financed by bank, normal transactions out in the market, then this means that the engine has carefully restarted. For the moment, we don't see that. And the very good thing that we have today with the financing of several retail projects, where the tenants are usually multinational brands providing corporate guarantees and so on, this is a very good sign that shows that the market has not died, that it still moves a little bit, but nothing more. Let's go to the foreign investors. They were the locomotive of the Romanian real estate market's explosion in the past. They disappeared in 2009, and the ones who are still here are very selective and extremely careful. 90% of them search for opportunities, and almost all of them have visited the banks asking for their properties, for their portfolio, for their liquidations, and so on. Just 10% of them, at least this is what we notice, has slowly invested or started checking properties, and they are searching only for real values, and they are willing to go on with the property even when the price is more than nothing, when it's not extremely cheap. I will tell you that in some transactions that we had in 2009 and 2010, when we reached a very good deal for the buyer, today, after 1 year, or almost 1 year and a half, we notice that the price has not fallen because the price was good in the beginning.